Hello and welcome. This discussion has been put together by the fantastic team at Pro Tax Accountant, and today we're diving into something you've probably seen on your payslip a million times. That little word, CUMUL. We're going to break down why that one word could be the most important detail for your take-home pay this year.
So let's be honest. You're looking at your payslip, you're scanning through all the numbers, and then you see it, CUMUL. It's so easy to just gloss over it, right? But believe me, that single abbreviation is one of the most critical details affecting your personal finances all year long.
Because getting your head around this is genuinely the key to knowing if you're paying the right amount of tax. Get it right, you could be looking at a nice little refund, but get it wrong, and, well, you might be facing an unexpected and unwelcome bill from HMRC. So yeah, it's pretty crucial.
Okay, let's crack this code then. What in the world is a cumulative tax code, and how does it work its magic on your earnings throughout the entire year?
To put it simply, a cumulative tax code means HMRC isn't just looking at what you earned this week or this month in a little bubble. No, it's looking at the bigger picture. It's tracking your total, year-to-date earnings right from the very start of the tax year on April 6th. It keeps a running tally of how much of your tax-free allowance you've used and how much tax you've already paid.
I love this analogy. Think of it this way. The tax year isn't a series of separate sprints. It's one long marathon. A cumulative code acts like your personal pacer, constantly adjusting to smooth out your tax payments. So if you paid a bit too much one month, it'll correct for it the next. It's all designed to keep you on the right track for that finish line.
Now, this whole system is applied to the most common tax code in the UK for the 2025-26 tax year, 1257L. If you have one job, this is probably your code. The numbers, the 1257, well, that just represents your personal allowance of £12,570. That's what you get to earn completely tax-free. And the L? It just confirms you're entitled to this standard allowance. Simple as that.
So let's put these two head to head. On one side, you've got the cumulative code. It looks at the whole year, it lets you carry over any unused allowance, and it adjusts automatically. It's smart. On the other side, you've got the non-cumulative code, often marked with a W1 for week 1 or M1 for month 1. This one, it's a bit short-sighted. It treats every single pay period as a standalone event. Any unused allowance from last month? Poof! It's gone forever. This is why it's usually a temporary emergency code, and honestly, it's a fast track to overpaying your tax.
Theory is one thing, but what does this actually mean for the real money in your pocket? Let's dive into a real-world example to see the truly dramatic difference these codes can make.
Let's meet Paul. He's got a job earning £300 a week. He works the first 2 weeks of the tax year, but then takes a 2-week unpaid break before coming back to work in week 5. This little scenario is the perfect stress test for our two tax codes.
Now just look at this. The difference is absolutely night and day. With a cumulative code, when Paul comes back in week 5, the system is smart. It sees he hasn't used his tax-free allowance for those 2 weeks he was off, so that unused allowance rolled over. The result? Not only does he pay 0 tax in week 5, he actually gets a rebate of £23.20 for the tax he'd already paid. But under that non-cumulative code, well, that unused allowance is just lost. The system taxes his £300 for week 5 as if nothing ever happened, so he pays another £11.60 in tax, bringing his total tax paid to almost £35. Incredible, isn't it?
So here's your pro tip, and it's a big one. If your income isn't the exact same every single month, a cumulative code is your best friend. Think about Tark, a freelance web developer based in London. One month he might land a huge project and earn £5,000, but the next might be quiet, so he only brings in £1,000. The cumulative system is a total game changer for him. It smooths everything out and prevents him from getting hammered with tax in those high-earning months. It's the same for anyone who gets regular bonuses.
Okay, so we've established that the cumulative code is usually the right one to be on. But the system isn't foolproof. It is so essential that you know how to check your own code and what to do if you think something is wrong.
And here's why it's so important to be proactive. In 2024, a staggering 1.3 million UK taxpayers received a P800 tax calculation letter from HMRC, telling them they were due a refund. A huge number of those are because people had simply been on the wrong tax code and had overpaid as a result. Now, this is a question we get asked all the time. Your tax code isn't necessarily set in stone for the whole year. HMRC can and often does change it. So, what are the common triggers for a sudden change? Well, the most common reasons are just life changes. If you start a new job, especially if you don't have a P45 form from your previous employer, you'll likely be put on a temporary emergency code. Taking on a second job, receiving a company benefit like a car, or even having HMRC collect tax you underpaid last year can all trigger a change to your code.
So, how do you take control? It's a simple 4-step process. First, check your payslip for that W-1 or M-1 code. Second, log in to your personal tax account on the gov.uk website. It's your direct window into what HMRC knows. Third, compare this with your official documents, like the P45 you get when you leave a job or your P60 annual summary. And fourth, if anything looks off at all, don't wait. Pick up the phone.
And here's a little motivation for you. Did you know that thanks to HMRC's real-time information system, a massive 70% of overpayment problems can be fixed during the tax year, not after it's ended? This means if you act fast, any refund you're owed can be paid back to you through your regular pay, often within just a few weeks. It really does pay to be on top of it.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground there, so let's boil it all down to the absolute essentials. What are the key things you need to remember from this discussion?
So the key thing to remember is that CUMUL means the system is looking at the big picture, smoothing out your tax payments across the whole year, which is great if your income changes. Keep an eye out for those temporary W1 or M1 codes, as they can easily lead to overpayment. The best defense is to regularly check your payslip and your online tax account, and if anything looks wrong, contact HMRC.
And I want to leave you with this thought from the team at Pro Tax Accountant. This isn't about turning you into a tax expert. It's about empowering you, giving you the knowledge you need to be in the driver's seat of your own finances.
Of course, sometimes things are more complicated, or maybe you just want the peace of mind that comes with professional advice. If you have questions or need help navigating your specific situation, the team at Pro Tax Accountant are absolutely the people to talk to.
You can reach them directly on WhatsApp or by phone at 07985 689912. You can also drop them an email at info@protaxaccountant.co.uk. And for more incredibly useful guides just like this one, make sure you find and subscribe to the Pro Tax Accountant channel on YouTube. Thanks for joining me today.